In this video, we're going to discuss how to convert fractional inches into decimals. This is going to be exactly the same as turning fractions into decimals, but now we are working with measurements. So if you have any questions on how to do that, feel free to look at one of our previous videos on how to convert fractions to decimals. For part A, we have a 1/4 inch, or 1/4 inch. To convert it to a decimal, we are going to use long division. As you know, we put the numerator on the inside, the denominator on the outside. We will have to add a decimal point, allowing us to add a 0. Taking 4 into 10 twice gives us 8. Subtracting 2, add a 0, bring it down. 4 goes into 20 5 times, giving us 20 and no remainder. So our decimal answer is 0.25, and we can rewrite that as 0.25 inches. Remember, we are working with measurements, so you always have to add those units back in. To solve part B, we're going to use the same approach. We will take 16 long division into 3, adding the decimal and a 0. We have 16 into 30 one time, giving us 16. That subtracts out to 14. Adding a 0 and bringing it down. 16 goes into 140 8 times. 16 times 8 gives us 128. When we subtract that, we get 12, adding a 0. 16 goes into 120 7 times. 16 times 7 gives us 112. Subtracting that leaves us with 8. Add a 0, bringing that down. 16 goes into 80 5 times. 16 times 5 is 80, leaving us with no remainder. So, converting 3 over 16 into a decimal leaves us with 0.1875 inches. Again, always remember to include your units of measure. For part D, we now have a whole number and a fraction. To solve this, let's set the whole number aside as 2 and then focus on 3/8 inches. We will start with long division, dividing 8 into 3. 8 cannot go into 3, so we add the decimal and a 0. 8 goes into 30 3 times, giving us 24. Subtracting that out to 6, add a 0. 8 goes into 60 7 times, giving us 56, and subtracting it to get a 4. Now we bring down a 0. 8 goes into 40 5 times, giving us 40, and solving our problem. So now we have to remember that we have two parts. We have the whole number of 2 and the decimal of 0.375. So we write our final answer as 2.375 inches. And that is our final answer. Part D is going to be solved the same way as part C, so take a moment to pause this video and try it on your own. For the solution, we have 3 as the whole number, setting that aside and focusing on 7 over 16. Using long division, we have 16 and 7, adding a decimal and a 0. 16 goes into 70 4 times. 16 times 4 gives us 64. Subtracting that out, that gives us a 6. 16 goes into 60 3 times. 16 times 3 gives us 48. Subtracting gives us a 12. Adding a 0, bringing it down. 16 goes into 120 7 times. 16 times 7 is 112. Subtracting gives us 8. Adding a 0, bringing it down. 16 goes into 80 5 times, giving us 80, and that'll cancel to 0. Now we have our decimal solution and our whole number solution. Putting them together leaves us with 3.4375 inches as our final answer. That's all we have for today. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments.